Hey YouTubers, this is Nicole, and I have a layout share for you. This is just a little break from my series that I've been uploading videos for that is based on using a collection pack. And I took a break basically from that because I actually had another scrapbooking weekend with my best friend, which is crazy that we were able to do it twice in a month. That's never happened before, but the timing happened to work out perfect for each of us, and so it'll probably be a while before we do it again, but we did talk a little bit about maybe doing a vlog sometime, like kind of doing some video throughout our scrappy weekend, showing, you know, our piles of layouts and how we get set up in the hotel room. And so hopefully next time we'll get on top of that a little bit better and maybe do something like that, which should be fun. So for this scrappy, I say weekend, but we were there Sunday through Wednesday, or through Tuesday. We left Wednesday morning. I worked with a few basic collections. A lot of my layouts were a mix of an older line from Kaiser Craft, and I can't think of what it's called, but it was a very like feathery, kind of Aztec-y themed line, along with it had some florals in it as well. And I can't think of what it's called, I'm sorry. And I mixed it with the Crepe Paper's Journey line and took one of my vacation albums and just made a big effort to work on as many of those photos as possible, which I got a lot of that done. I noticed as I was scrapbooking that I still tended to separate the two. I think maybe the tones were a little different. There's a few of the neutral embellishments and like letter stickers and things like that that I cross-mixed, but for the most part I kind of ended up just using the Kaiser Craft together and then the Journey together. Which was fine, but I just had it all out there ready, you know, available to me. So sometimes it works to really mix things together and sometimes it doesn't. So anyway, for instance, here on this one, this is almost all Kaiser Craft. However, these cork shapes, I believe, were part of the Journey. So again, just a situation where some of the neutral elements I was able to pull from the Journey line, but the actual colored elements were mainly in that Kaiser Craft line. The Kaiser Craft did have a stamp set to it, and that was one of those stamps, and this was just a background stamp that I have. I'm not for sure who that is, but I did do a little bit of stamping on those. And the transparencies, oh, you know, these might have been left over. I'm trying to think what those were from, actually. I'm not for sure. From my stash, I want to say Teresa Collins, but I could be wrong on that. They may have been part of the Journey line, I'm not for sure. Anyway, here really basic, just one photo, and just did lots of layers, used some of the border strips there, some of the cork embellishments intermixed in there as well. So there's that one. Here's another from the same line. Now the letter stickers were part of the Journey line, but I think most everything else is probably from the Kaiser Craft, along with these stamps. So used a few more, I guess just those two there, a few more stamps there. And just have 3 photos and then just kind of embellished and layer papers there. So these are all part of this vacation album that I've been working on. And these are all kind of mixed up a little bit here. And there's this one. And here I was getting to the kind of the very final pieces of the Kaiser Craft line, and was just trying to put all scraps together and just use some of the leftover stickers I still had on the sheet. I really pretty much killed it. I have like a few like small flower stickers left, and I think I have 2 layouts that I made the backgrounds of. I did the Chamel, just randomly cutting the papers about halfway through this line, and so I have 2 layouts that just don't have a picture and aren't done. Other than that, I used up all the paper, so there's that one. Oh, I'd also mixed in initially, I'm sorry, I had mixed in a Teresa Collins line, and I can't think of what it was called, but it was a very like wood grain with really pale pinks and some navy blue. And I can't think of what it's called, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. And I mixed that as well, and about halfway through I just took it out because it just wasn't meshing very well. However, I did use one of the stickers here, and the transparencies I kept out because they're all very neutral. They don't necessarily go with one line. This is a transparency here as well. So So I still have that kit to play with, minus whatever neutral elements it had in there. And a couple of the random little stickers might have, like I think this was from that Teresa Collins line, and the cork is from the crepe paper. But then all the papers and the color embellishments, with the exception of this one here, are I think from the Kaiser Craft. And this one as well is I think mostly Kaiser Craft. But that one I think is Teresa Collins. The buttons came from, they must have been with the Teresa Collins button pack. Like with the wood buttons and then the regular buttons mixed together. So I did use some of those elements too. There's that one. And these are for a trip to like Wyoming and South Dakota, so that's why they're very, you know, lots of feathers, lots of Aztec type of embellishing. And the wood grains, you know, we were out in nature a lot, we stayed in cabins, stuff like that. So it all worked really well for that. So then there's this one. I believe this one is from the crepe paper. These are from the crepe paper. This was, I just got a little pack of these embellishments. I think they're from Jolie's. I got them from Walmart because I had some other photos that I needed cowboy hats for. So I used some of those on these layouts. There was cut apart cards with this Kaiser Craft kit. I'd cut apart one of the sheets. And then I did some stamping there and there. And then just use a little banner up here. So I kind of journaled a little bit on some different parts of the evening and different sections of the layout. Okay, now this one then is kind of using mostly the journey. I think these were from the Teresa Collins. They're like these clear, or journey, I can't remember now. Anyway, they're like these vellum stickers. They were really hard to use, honestly. They were thin and little and skinny and like tore very easily. And like this one is like in 4 pieces, I think. And you can't tell once it's on there. But anyway, this was from the Kaiser Craft here. But I think everything else is from the Journey, except for this paper here. I think these are from the Journey. I think these are just from the 6x6 pad. There's that one. And then here we're back to pretty much the Kaiser Craft. Another cowboy hat there, and then just some random stickers and feathers. I punched the feathers out of the packaging, and so used most of those throughout the layouts. This is of a rodeo, so this was this felt like a perfect feel for those types of photos. Okay. And then here I think it looks like it's mostly the Journey line. I think all of it is pretty close anyway. So this was kind of a funny layout. I enjoyed doing this, and I kind of did some crazy title. I'm not a title person, but I did some kind of long titles this time around, like, you know, it's a quick detour. And these cork pieces were hard to use too. They ripped very easily. These are from the Journey line. But, so just be very careful with them. They're very cute, but just be very careful with them. So yeah, this was just a layout. It was from our vacation, but we had to take a little detour because she had, that morning of all mornings, decided to be messing around with her sister and fell off our bed, which is pretty tall. And she hurt her ankle, and she said it was fine, but then we were driving and you could tell it was very uncomfortable and she couldn't put weight on it. And so we were on our way to a vacation that was going to pretty much all hiking and walking around, and so it stressed us out for a little bit, but ended up not being broken or anything. She just had to take a couple days easy, so she got a lot of piggyback rides and shoulder rides for those first couple of days. But I had to document that. That was a big part of our way to our vacation, so we had to stop and go to the ER and all that stuff. So anyway, that was the story. This will go in that vacation album. And then this one I think is all Journey, looks like. These I think were from the Kaiser Craft sticker sheet, and I think this is from the Teresa Collins. I used a lot of transparencies too. I really made an effort to use a lot of transparencies because my stash is getting pretty big. So actually I have one here, and then 2 of the cut apart ones here. They're kind of hard to see. it was a cut apart vellum sheet of tags. So I just layered some papers, journaled over here. There's that one. And then this one, I think we're back to the Kaisercraft. This was my favorite paper of that Kaisercraft line. So cute. Not my favorite layout though. I mean, that's totally fine. I use just a variety. This is actually a pretty good mix. I see a lot of the Journey stickers here, but then I know like that's from Kaisercraft. This is from the Teresa Collins. These I actually picked up. They're from Jelly Bean Soup. I picked them up at Walmart on the way. So I used some of those and just layered some different cards and things, tags and stickers. So there's that one. It's just a little busy to me. It just didn't quite come together like I thought it was going to. But it's one of those that you say, you know what, move on. It's okay. It's going to mesh with the rest of the layouts about that part of the trip. So this is a layout that I actually did part of an Allie Edwards class. I do her storyteller stamp monthly class where you get a stamp set and then she gives you content and prompts to use that stamp set. So I just did one of them, and so basically there really isn't a lot of product on here. There was I think this is from a Simple Story sticker sheet, and then a wood veneer that I had on hand, and then really the rest of it's just washi. Some of it that I actually got from Walmart on the way because I'd forgotten twine and washi, and then some that was part of the Teresa Collins, like the days of the week there, which actually worked out really perfect. This was a border strip, I think, from the Teresa Collins line. No, what was that from? I'm not for sure because this is actually cardstock. The rest are washis or paper tapes. Anyway, so it was a really cool layout. It was just about documenting routines, and so I documented my girls' dance schedules for the last school year. So there's that one. All right, here we're back to the Journey collection, pretty much. I think almost all of it is. So this is probably one of my favorites from this section of layouts as far as the vacation layouts. I really like how this one turned out. There you go. Oops. Okay. And then another one. And this seems to be mostly from the Journey collection. I think, except for I know this black paper is from the Kaisercraft. I think the papers, most papers are from Kaisercraft except for this one. So there's a good mix on here. There's that one. Okay. There might be more of that, but we'll get back to it if so. So then what I did was I put together like 5 or 6 Simple Stories old summer lines, not this year's, but from last year's back. They're all very similar in color schemes, except for this one is a little different. It was more of the rainbow feel to it. The other ones were more of just the primary colors, but I just mixed them all together. I added in a random fancy pants kit that I had that was very summery, you know, primary colors. And I mixed them, just made this huge kit, and then I scrapbooked it for a good, I don't know, half a day or maybe even a full day. And so this is one of the layouts as a result of that one. And it worked out perfect because my daughter's wearing rainbow pajamas. And my other daughter has this pale pink, which was in that line quite a bit. So, so here is a layout made with those, a mix of Simple Stories. There's transparencies, cards. These were from Teresa Collins, I think, but lots of stickers. And we did do a challenge. A fun thing that we did was we did a challenge. We had our husbands pick random numbers between like 1 and 116, and then we took those numbers and looked them up on Chamel's Glitter Girl series. And so we went to that video that had that number to it, and then just challenged ourselves to scrap lift her layout. So this was, I believe, one of those, and yeah, so that was just a fun challenge, and you could do that with anything. You could do that with anyone's YouTube channel. You could do it with, you know, classes. You could just do, you know, fun challenges like that. We'll kind of shake it up a little bit. You kind of get in your routine, and it's nice to do something a little bit different. But anyway, so This is one of those layouts inspired by Shamel. And then this one here, also from the Simple Stories. This is a mix. Like, I know this is like a homegrown, and then there's some of the, I call it the rainbow line. I know it's not technically what it was called, but this is really a mix of multiple Simple Stories, and it just really flows well together. They're all that very similar color scheme. I know I did pull a lot from that rainbow line for this one, though. I feel like I did. So there's that one. And then this one is where I use most of that Fancy Pants line. So there's some Simple Stories things in here, but this was really cool. I had never seen this Glitter Girl video before, but it was just where you embellish these boxes separately and then put them together as a grid. And so I really liked that. And I need to title this yet, which is why that's there. So I need to pull this aside and make sure I title this. I had forgotten all my letter stickers, which was kind of a problem. So I didn't get a chance to title it, but I really like how this turned out. And it was really fun to like embellish these little squares before you even put them on the page, kind of creating your own larger embellishment before putting the page together. So that was a fun one. And it's going to be titled Paper Football, because it's pictures of them playing paper football. My husband and my nephews, and so that's how that one turned out. Sorry, I haven't been doing close-ups. Hopefully you guys can see everything okay, but I'm going to set that somewhere else so I don't forget to title that. Then this one here, again, all Simple Stories. I feel like whatever line this is from, I can't remember, is where I think most of my embellishments ended up coming from, but this was already pre-printed on the paper. I did one of the envelopes, just stuck a card in there as though it's coming out of the envelope, photo, did some stickers, and this was Shamel's video that focused on using stickers, so I used a border strip to glue that down better, and some stickers here, and only that was about it. It's all it really needed, so there's that one. And then this one was also a Shamel scrap lift from one of her Glitter Girl videos. And I think it was also using stickers, maybe? I'm trying to remember now. Anyway, very different layout for me, which was a lot of fun. And so just some different groupings of papers. Again, I had one of my long titles, which I was impressed with, because I did have any letter stickers that came inside the kits, like that were part of letter sheets, or sticker sheets, and so I did have those accessible to me. I didn't have any thicker ones. Anyway, so here I did quite a bit of journaling on this layout, and then did a few stickers throughout there. So there we go. And then this one, not my favorite. I feel like it needs, I think I know what it needs. So I had these were actually tags I got from the Target dollar bin. I stopped at Target and got a few things from the dollar bin, and I think it's driving me crazy that I don't have a third one up here. So I might need to I have more of these. I might have to see if I have one in a different color, and then maybe move this up here or something. I need to figure out. I mean, there's some of the darker orange here, but I think that's what's kind of feeling off about this layout. And it's just not a typical layout for me, but again, it was one of those things I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I'm moving on. The main idea was to have these strips of paper here, was about using paper. And I actually used transparency and then two other patterns of paper, which was kind of fun. Maybe I might even just take off some of this embellishment and then maybe start over, because I'm really not liking it. Usually I move on, but this just bothers me when I look at it. So I might do a little work on this one, but anyway, there's that one. And then this one I actually really like. This is really different for me. This is a Shamel video, just using the die cut cards kind of as paper, and her initial layout had then 2 more cards down here, but instead I used this die cut camera because I had kind of the color of the table in there was pretty dominant, so I thought that worked well. And then I have these sequins from Teresa Collins that had that wood grain, and I spread those throughout. and then did some different sticker embellishment work throughout the layout. But I really like how this one turned out. This was really fun. And this was already pre-printed on the page, so that was already embellished for me. Sometimes those are hard for me to use, but that just kind of fit well with this type of layout. So okay, so then when I was done with that collection, then I moved on to Bo Bunny's It's a Sweet Life collection, and these honestly are like, and I got to these like late last night, so these are like my favorite layouts of the whole weekend, I think, which is weird because I didn't see it as a collection that I would really love, but it kind of takes me back to some of the way I used to scrapbook, with just lots of vintage feeling items and layering and things, and so I think maybe I need to go back to that a little bit. And so here's the first one I did, and this was another Chamel lift, and it was based on using Polaroids or like your Instax photos. And so this one, I happen to have this photo of my great grandma and I, and she had that minty green color on, which was perfect. And so so here's what I ended up doing with that layout. I love this film strip tape. It's not tape, but you have to adhere it. I mean, it doesn't have self-adhesive on it. It is so cute. And then actually, that, you know, Bo Bunny has those ephemera packs, and it comes with all kinds of goodies. So it came with these buttons and the brads and this ribbon, and I hadn't used ribbon in forever, but it was perfect because I was a baby, and it's very baby girlish. And so anyway, these huge die cuts, and like all of this was from that collection. So I think I showed it in a haul a little while back, but just a super, super cute collection, and was really easy for me to use. So really enjoyed. I still have some more to use up, and I'm excited that I have some more to play with. So there's that one. That's probably my favorite. This is probably my second favorite. Still that collection, just kind of pulling different colors out of it. So instead of the pinks, more of the navy blues, and this red color and navy blue. And again, it fit the photo perfect with us all wearing blue. Used this tape again, and this was part of the ephemera pack, as well as the flowers and the butterflies and just all the goodies that Bo Bunny gives you in their ephemera packs. So love those. There's that one. And this one I'm not quite done yet because I needed letters. So this is me when I was 2, and another Chamel scrap lift. And so just except she was doing ribbons that intertwined with each other, but I didn't have, outside of this one, I didn't really have any ribbon. I had all washi, so I just, you know, we just switched it up a little bit. I did do ribbon here, some washies, and then some of this this film tape. And then in here is going to go my title and my journaling. So I will finish that and then just be done with this. I did splatter some Mr. Huey's, the white mist there. Other than that, it's probably going to just be title and journaling and then be done. So that is what I need to finish up too. So that is it, you guys. I didn't do as many as I normally do. I normally do around 30. I think I'm closer to 25. And part of that was just because there was a part in one of the days. Well, actually, there's a couple reasons. One reason was there was a part in the day where my brain kind of was done, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, what pictures I wanted to scrapbook. And I needed to get to a place of guidance, and I finally got there when I figured out that a lot of my photos that I had with me weren't in the trendy color schemes of today, which is the particular papers that I had out at the time. So once I pulled out more of those primary colors, then all those photos I've been waiting to scrapbook because they were more primary color based, then were available to me. So sometimes, you know, definitely it's important to let your photos guide you. And sometimes if you work with a kit, that can be a hindrance if you're trying to fit everything into that kit. And normally, like in my scrapbook room, I can do that because I have thousands of photos at my disposal. But when I had limited photos with me, I really should have gone to the photos first and then picked my kit from there, and I didn't do that. Secondly, well, I did later. Secondly, my vacation album that I did a lot of those first layouts for, I filled in, I spent a lot of time filling in a lot of the divided page protectors with the different cards, embellished some of them, And so I'll be getting these layouts put into that album in their correct order that will be coinciding with some of those pocket pages. So I did do a little bit more work that you aren't seeing on camera and within the album itself. I didn't want to take all those out because they're basically just 4x6 cards, journaled on, titled, maybe some random embellishments, but they will accompany the layouts that are down in this pile. So I'll get all that put together. And so that is it for my share, and I will be back. I appreciate everyone's feedback on the series. I'm going to be back hopefully this next day or two with a couple more videos. I need to unpack all my stuff, get my room set back up again, and my supplies, and I'm excited to get back to the collection moments and memories from Carta Bella and have some more fun scrapbooking with that kit. So I'll be back soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.